Hi, I'm Mrs. Perry, a fifth grade teacher at Salmon Creek, and today I'd like to share part of a book with you, one of my favorites. Thank You, Mr. Falker, written by Patricia Polacco. And this is a book about a little girl named Tricia. She's overjoyed at the thought of starting school and learning how to read. But right from the start, when she tries to read, all the letters and numbers just get jumbled up. And her classmates make matters worse by calling her dummy and toad. But then, in fifth grade, a new teacher comes, a real character. He sees right through the sad little girl to the artist she really is. And when he discovers Tricia's secret that she still can't read, he sets out to help her prove to herself that she can. I'd like to share with you the very first page of this book. The grandpa held the jar of honey so that all the family could see, then dipped a ladle into it and drizzled honey on the cover of a small book. The little girl had just turned 5. "Stand up, little one," he cooed. "I did this for your mother, your uncles, your older brother, and now you." Then he handed the book to her. "Taste." She dipped her finger into the honey and put it into her mouth. "What is that taste?" the grandma asked. The little girl answered, "Sweet." Then all of the family said in a single voice, "Yes, and so is knowledge. But knowledge is like the bee that made that sweet honey. You have to chase it through the pages of a book." The little girl knew that the promise to read was hers at last. Soon she was going to learn to read. But unfortunately, as time goes by, Tricia does not get to learn to read. She has problems. Then, in third grade, they move. And then finally, in our new school, in fifth grade, there's a brand new teacher. I'd like to just jump now to the last page. The rest of the year became an odyssey of discovery and adventure for the little girl. She learned to love school. I know because that little girl was me, Patricia Polacco. I saw Mr. Falker again some 30 years later at a wedding. I walked up to him and introduced myself. At first, he had difficulty placing me. Then I told him who I was and how he had changed my life so many years ago. He hugged me and asked me what I did for a living. "Why, Mr. Falker," I answered, "I make books for children." "Thank you, Mr. Falker. Thank you." I hope this inspires you to read this entire book. And when you read it, think about your own personal connections. Have you had something you had to overcome? Perhaps someone else helped you? Think about it when you read. And don't forget this summer, keep reading.